Former Goldman Sachs executive, founder, and CEO of Real Vision, and seasoned global macro investor Raoul Pal firmly believes XRP is gearing up for another massive surge this market cycle. And honestly, I consider Raoul one of the sharpest minds in the crypto world, data-driven, insightful, and always ahead of the curve. One of Raoul's key messages, for anyone willing to listen, is the cyclical nature of crypto. Now, he's been vocal about why these cycles happen, pinpointing global liquidity as the driving force. That's why I've been emphasizing those global M2 liquidity charts lately. Crypto heavily mirrors liquidity trends. History shows the crypto market almost always follows liquidity shifts. And right now, liquidity is on the rise. So what does that mean? More liquidity usually leads to higher crypto prices. The data suggests this market cycle isn't over yet, far from it. And here's the kicker. According to the Crypto Basic, Raoul Pal is doubling down on his prediction. XRP, he says, is primed for another major leg up. Let's dive into why he's so confident. Before we dive in, let me be upfront. I don't have a financial background. I'm not here to give you financial advice, and you definitely shouldn't make any investment decisions based on what I say. I'm just a crypto enthusiast who loves making YouTube videos as a hobby. This is all about sharing ideas and having fun, not telling you what to do. Cool? Cool. Now let's talk about Raoul Pal. The guy has some sharp takes when it comes to crypto, no doubt about that. But hey, he's human, not a crystal ball wielding wizard. Just because he usually makes a lot of sense doesn't mean he's right 100% of the time. Case in point, check out this headline from August 21, 2024. I remember covering it back then. It read, Raoul Pal says XRP enthusiasts misled by a cult-like mentality. Fast forward about 2.5 months and boom, XRP absolutely skyrocketed. Turns out that rocket ship wasn't on his radar. Goes to show even the pros can miss the mark sometimes. Check this out. In a viral video, Paul advised investors to ditch older coins like XRP and instead chase the hype of fresh narratives for better gains. His reasoning? It's been over 5 years since XRP saw any real action in a bull market. But here's the twist. I was genuinely shocked to hear that from him. Paul knows markets are cyclical, so I expected him to see what I see when XRP is this undervalued against Bitcoin in the broader market. That's often the golden moment. It's the setup for a reversal, especially in a bull run, which we're clearly in right now. Still, nobody gets it right 100% of the time. He wasn't trolling, just calling it as he saw it, even if it didn't quite land this time. He simply got this one wrong. It happens. Everyone misses the mark sometimes. And this was a big miss, especially since XRP has become the top performing coin among the top 100 by market cap since the election. But hey, nobody gets every call right. What really matters here are two key things. First, is this person competent? Absolutely. This was just a rare slip up on an otherwise solid track record, even if it was a significant one. Second, is he acting in good faith? No doubt about it. He's intellectually honest, not trolling or driven by some irrational bias against XRP. Mistakes happen, even to the best of us. He actually owns some XRP, at least a little bit anyway. Here's the thing. I don't mind if people get things wrong. We're all human, right? What matters is owning up to it when you are wrong. That's how trust is built. I need to know that if you mess up, you can admit it. I mean, let's be real. Even I get things wrong sometimes, rarely, of course, since perfection is practically my middle name. But still, nobody's flawless. The issue comes when someone doubles down on nonsense that everyone else can see through. That's where trust falls apart. But here's the cool part. He doesn't do that. No oversized ego here. In fact, check this out. This right here, this is some serious humble pie he's digging into, and I respect that. Take a look at this post from December 1, 2024. It's wild to think about what happened next. By the very next day, December 2, XRP hit its local peak of $2.90. Just weeks earlier, it was sitting below 49 cents before the November election. The momentum was undeniable. And then on that fateful day, Rob Paul posted this. Dear XRP Jedi Warriors, you were right, I was wrong. Well done, dinosaurs still roam the earth. All I want is for everyone to make money and you've marched through hell to get here. I've still got some XRP from back when it got delisted, but honestly, you'll deserve credit for sticking it out. Respect where it's due. Oh, and speaking of sticking it out, remember when Raoul Pal got absolutely roasted by the toxic Bitcoin crowd? The Bitcoin maximalists were relentless. It's wild to me how anyone can be a hardcore maximalist about anything. It just doesn't make sense, but here we are. Anyway, I'll never forget December 2020. Raoul Pal brought on Santiago Vélez, huge XRP bull, incredibly sharp guy, for a deep dive. The conversation was about an hour long, maybe more. Raul didn't know much about XRP at the time, but he was genuinely curious. It was a rare, good faith discussion that's honestly worth revisiting. He faced some serious heat from the toxic Bitcoin maximalists, got completely yelled at, but instead of backing down, he fired back, saying something along the lines of, "You won't dictate what I can explore, research, or talk about." Gotta love how he stood his ground against the Bitcoin maxi trolls. Plus, he gave Santiago Velez a platform to share insights about XRP and educate a wider audience. This isn't new for him either. As he points out, he even had Crypto Insight UK craft a bull thesis for global macro investor. Clearly, he's not some irrational XRP critic. He just happened to miss the mark on one specific call. But props to him. On December 2nd, he admitted his mistake and started digging deeper to uncover the real story. I think part of the reason he got it wrong, and this is just my take, is that he wasn't really paying attention to the chart. It felt more like he dismissed it outright, thinking, this thing isn't doing anything. But that's not the right mindset. If you're really watching closely, and I don't think he was, you'd notice XRP has immense utility. That utility ensures it's never going to hit zero so long as it remains useful. I just think he wasn't truly tuned in to what's happening with XRP. Honestly, I think he just didn't know any better. That's probably why it slipped past him. Looking back now, I'm sure it seems obvious to him. On December 2nd, though, he posted this XRP/USD chart and admitted, "You've got to admit, XRP is a good looking chart. Last time it broke out of a wedge pattern like this, it climbed 5,600%. Obviously, it won't do that again, but you get the idea. It can move big. Banana zone, part 1. Yep. When he says it won't repeat, he's clearly referring to the percentage from that point onward. But even back then, he firmly believed it could and probably would climb higher. Which brings us to this intriguing headline. Raul Pal predicts XRP's next big move. Here's why. Market veteran Raul Pal expects XRP to break out of its current consolidation phase and take another leg up. Al shared this bold prediction in the latest episode of the Real Vision podcast, though some crypto sites amusingly mislabeled it as Wrecked Vision. Honestly, this happens all the time with crypto media outlets. They churn out content so fast they don't even proofread for typos or grammar errors. Still, Pal's insights are worth paying attention to as he explains why XRP could soon be back on the rise. Paul's insights from the Real Vision podcast dive into an exciting bull flag pattern shaping up on XRP's weekly chart this year. This consolidation phase, which has kept XRP hovering around the $2.00 mark, is a textbook example of a bull flag in action. For those unfamiliar, a bull flag is like a pit stop on a racetrack. The flagpole represents a powerful price surge, while the flag signals a pause before the next leg of the rally. Once the breakout happens, it's full throttle ahead. This isn't XRP's first brush with a bull flag. Back in November 2024, following Donald Trump's election victory, XRP rocketed out of consolidation. Fueled by a market-wide uptrend, it skyrocketed 580%, climbing from $0.50 to a jaw-dropping 7-year high of $3.40 by mid-January 2025. As CNBC highlighted, XRP was one of the biggest winners from that rally, so could history be gearing up to repeat itself? Only time will tell. XRP's explosive rally forged the iconic flagpole pattern, only to face a formidable barrier at the $3.40 peak. The resulting pullback dragged prices below $2.00, though XRP quickly rebounded above the threshold. Since then, it's been a waiting game, with XRP locked in a tight consolidation phase for the past 4 months. But guess what? That's not unusual. It's textbook. XRP in the past 2 cycles, XRP skyrocketed, consolidated for about 6 months, then took off again. Even during the last cycle, while battling the SEC, XRP followed this same pattern. History doesn't just repeat, it rhymes. Back in November 2020, XRP made its first big leap, skyrocketing from just over 20 cents to more than 80 cents. By April 2021, it hit an impressive peak of $2.00. If history is set to repeat itself, a similar move could be just around the corner, sending the market into overdrive with XRP right in the mid. That's why many believe XRP is finally on the verge of true price discovery, something it hasn't experienced in over 7 years. The anticipation is electric, and if the breakout happens, it's bound to leave jaws on the floor. Big things are coming. According to Paul's chart, XRP has been forming lower highs on the weekly timeline, signaling bears still have a slight upper hand. Yet, despite this, market veterans remain confident. Paul suggests another breakout is on the horizon, or as he put it, another leg up is coming for XRP from its current position. Paul admitted, despite not actively engaging with XRP these days, let's be clear, he does still own it. He's just not involved in the day-to-day like some of us are. He holds it as part of a diverse portfolio, which honestly is a smart move. Diversification is key, right? Anyway, Paul noted that the XRP chart is, in his words, something to behold. That's quite a statement, hinting the asset might be gearing up for a significant move. Funny enough, Paul wasn't always an XRP fan. He was a critic back in the day, but that's old news. Now, the chart has some exciting insights into XRP's potential. For context, when an asset breaks out from a bull flag, its target price is calculated by adding the flagpole's length to the breakout price. If XRP can close above the $2.60 resistance on the weekly time frame, it could potentially break out above the flagpole. Considering the length of the flagpole from the November 2024 rally is $2.90, this points to a breakout target of $5.50. And honestly, who knows, it might not stop there. If we're talking about the initial surge in this second leg of the rally, maybe this is exactly how it starts. It's really just a matter of time. What's refreshing, though, is seeing someone who was previously skeptical about XRP's performance, without being a troll, admit their take was off. It's always respectable when someone adjusts their stance after digging deeper. Now he's diving into the charts, which I don't think he did before. Back then, it seemed more like an opinion than analysis. But now that he's actually looking at the data, the shift is clear. He's saying, yeah, this thing is ready to move. And honestly, he's just seeing what the other chart analysts have been saying for a while now. What I appreciate is that he's not coming from a place of bias or bad faith. Having followed him for over 5 years, he's always struck me as a thoughtful, good faith kind of guy. Now he's just echoing what others have already noticed. XRP looks absolutely primed. You look at these charts and you're like, wow, this thing is ready to explode. Check out this post from chart analyst Bob Ye. It's a gem. He said, I'll say it again, XRP didn't spend 7 years building a massive triangle accumulation base just to cap out at $3 and some change. This is one of the century's most obvious plays. Honestly, I couldn't agree more. It's absurdly clear that this is primed to take off, yet somehow, some people will still mess it up. Crazy, right? And here's another great insight from chart analyst Mr. Zoom. Markets have reset their interest in XRP. Breakouts happen when people are least interested in price action. He even shared Google Trends data showing how searches for XRP are way down compared to December and January. Despite that, prices are holding strong. It's like the calm before the storm. This is where things get exciting. Just wait. Bitcoin is gearing up to lead the charge, as it always does. I'm convinced we're on the brink of a parabolic rally, the final one of this cycle. And guess what? Altcoins won't be far behind. Money will flow from Bitcoin into XRP specifically, with fresh capital pouring into the market. I'll also share a Google Trends update when the time comes. Check out this post from Crypto Insight UK. While the markets are pulling back slightly, XRP is outperforming ETH. This mirrors what happened just before XRP's massive surge back in November. As they put it, it's looking very samey-samey. Now, take a look at what chart analyst Javon Marks shared. It's on January 16th, the day XRP hit a new all-time high. He referenced an article from September on the Crypto Basic. Analyst says no matter what critics say, XRP hidden divergences signal 500% surge. Critics called it crazy, but Javon nailed it. He proved the doubters wrong, and XRP delivered exactly as predicted. The other day, he reposted something interesting. He reminded us that when XRP was hovering in the 50-cent range, he predicted that despite all the negative chatter, the signals and data were pointing to something massive, a potential 500% surge to $3.30 or more. And guess what? That explosive move happened. Now, those same signals suggest an even bigger climb ahead. Folks, he's convinced this is far from over. And he's not alone. Every analyst I follow is saying the same thing. XRP isn't done. We're going higher. Take this post from chart analyst Steph is Crypto. He kept it simple. XRP breakout loading. Everywhere I look, the message is the same. And honestly, it's hard not to get excited. The momentum is building, and this feels like the moment we've all been waiting for. It's an incredible time to hold XRP. The best is yet to come, and I truly believe many listening right now are on the brink of life-changing wealth. Personally, I hope to be among them. My net worth has already skyrocketed thanks to XRP, but I haven't cashed out. I'm holding strong. My plan is to start scaling out between $5.00 and $8.00. But until then, I want to see how far this rocket can go. I can't wait to share more once I finally start selling. Now, I won't spill the beans on exactly how much XRP I own or plan to sell. Maybe I'll share percentages down the road, but we're not at that point yet. Honestly, I think there's still room for this to climb. And that's ridiculously exciting. After everything we've been through and all this time waiting, I truly believe we've finally arrived. It's happening, but hey, just a friendly reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. Seriously, don't make buying or selling decisions based on what I say. Trust me, that would be a terrible, terrible idea.